Greetings. I wanted to just take a moment and look at the rubric for our final persuasive essay, and I hope that it's helpful. I thought that it might be to just talk through, and really you should take a look at this rubric prior to submitting your final essay, because this is really the key to how your essay will be assessed, and it is a roadmap to the goals that you should aspire to. And as we look through the rubric, the first thing that is the introduction or overview, and provides an overview of the issue analyzed and briefly describes the main points of the argument. And that is pretty straightforward, and that's something that you should, at this point, be able to do with clarity. If the introduction paragraph kind of wanders, or you jump too quickly into some statistics or sources, you may leave out something that for a reader who is not familiar with your topic cannot follow it. So that would mean that it would need some improvement. Next, we look at the thesis statement, and again, I would refer you back to some of the resources. We looked at thesis statements in week 5, and that should still be available to you, but composes a statement that contains the argument and is supported throughout the essay, and it hopefully has 3 supporting or key points. For it to earn full credit, it should be exceptionally clear and concise. It should be easily recognized in a single sentence in the first paragraph and typically towards the end of the paragraph. Next, the body intent writes multiple paragraphs that are focused, clearly state their intent, and build the argument. In this, one of the keys is that focus, that intent. If you have 3 key points and each key point is a topic sentence or a focal point of your paragraph, then you're probably going to do pretty well on this. But if your paragraphs are choppy, if there are only a few sentences, if they contain general information that you may have mentioned elsewhere in the essay, then you will lose points because they are not as focused. The paragraphs are not as focused as they can be. The next area is the body paragraphs. Communicate by combining thoughts, ideas, and evidence. And you can go back and look at the PIE, P-I-E, point, information, explanation, and that is the point is that key point, the information is the research you have culled, and the explanation is your thoughts and reflection. If all of those elements are in the paragraph, then you have met it proficiently. If you have constructed them masterfully, then you will receive full points. And this, if you notice, is worth 45. This is worth a lot of points. The value 7.5, 7.5, 7.5. When we get to this body paragraphs, this is a big number in terms of the assessment. Opposing viewpoint, it addresses and refutes. If it does it with skill and a keen insight, you'll earn full credit. Be sure your opposing point isn't just mentioned in passing in one paragraph. Typically, you may want to take an entire paragraph and say, naysayers, people who don't believe this, might consider that a better way is this. But on reflection, and as noted, here are reasons why that viewpoint is weak. This is why I disagree with it. Finally, we come to 2 areas of the conclusion. The first, we look at the conclusion to see if you've summarized the key points. Have you summarized what you've told us clearly? Next, have you offered additional analysis? Have you given us some final thoughts? Have you referred specifically to the key points and perhaps to a quote or an example that was given earlier in the essay? If so, then you have met this requirement. And then we end up, of course, articulation, which is errors in spelling, grammar, syntax, and in this instance, this includes citations. You need to cite within the text, and you need to include a works cited or reference page at the end of the essay. So just a quick look at the rubric, and I hope it's helpful. If you have any questions, if there's any of these areas that is unclear to you or that you feel you're not sure you're able to grasp or you're able to meet with the level of skill that you would like to, contact me and we'll talk about it and we'll see what we can do to bring you up to speed. I'm sure you'll do great. I'll be around all weekend to help. Let me know what I can do to help you. Take care.